The moment I made money, I got random calls. Everybody said they were trying to do my KYC. They're calling from some trading company.
Scammers are coming after each and every brand.
Each and every one of them.
The WhatsApp hijacking, of course, is only going to pick up steam because India is WhatsApp country in many ways.
What is the most common type of scam that you guys are seeing right now?
10 to 15% of the top 200 apps were fake loan apps.
My colleague and friend Ruby, her father got the digital arrest call.
Oh,
Except that it was about 2 years ago, even before people started speaking about it.
Indians have lost 2,140 crore rupees through digital arrests.
They are a team of 30 people and they pay them almost 7 lakh rupees a month.
so you can build an actual legitimate career in this industry.
Don't believe what is being displayed on your social media.
I remember this one video and it's a full deepfake.
Hello and welcome to an episode where we'll talk all about fraud. So I have Rajneil and I have Babu, both of them who work in the fraud space in different categories. So I will let them talk about what they do. Rajneil, why don't you start?
Yeah, firstly, thank you for having me over. I run an initiative called SCAMS Senior, and the idea is to help senior citizens stay safe from frauds and scams, and also help them learn technology so that their lack of awareness of technology doesn't lead them to be defrauded or scammed. Yeah. I've been doing this for about 10 months now, and it largely came about because of two personal stories. One, of course, is I grew up with grandparents, so I understand some of the issues that older people face. And two is my wife's grandfather, who's in his 90s. He was during the pandemic, he started trading and he made good returns.
Okay.
And then he suddenly stopped, and I couldn't understand why he'd stopped. So I went to him and I said, Tata, why did you stop trading? He said, Ayo, namge kansalla kana. And he went into Kannada saying, I can't see on my phone anymore and it's too difficult.
Okay.
So I said, okay, if you can't see, let's increase the font size on your phone. He looked at me as if God knows what I said. He says, you think trading is only about font size. I want to see the arrow, which color it is, whether it's green, whether it is red. I want to see the charts. You can increase font size. What about the other things? I said, okay, I understand that there's an issue. Maybe what you're looking at is magnification. He said, great, now do it for me on my phone. It took me, and I'm very tech savvy, it took me a good 20 minutes to find it for him. And I found it for him. I told him, okay, there's this icon which is at the bottom of your screen. You can click this and here's how it's going to happen. He said, oh, you're feeling so happy you've accomplished something. Now, how do I undo this if I want to?
Okay.
And it then took me another 20 minutes to show him how to undo it. And I realized that in many ways, you might have all of these features, but if the people who are supposed to use them the most don't even know where to find them,
Right.
that's a big problem.
Correct.
And the other problem he had with why he didn't want to trade is he said, the moment I made money, I got random calls. Everybody said they were trying to do my KYC. They're calling from some trading company, this, that. I didn't know who to trust, so I just stopped trading. And the moment I didn't make any more money, nobody spoke to me anymore, And my colleague and friend Ruby, her father got the digital arrest call.
Oh,
Except that it was about 2 years ago, even before people started speaking about it. And I remember she called me frantically saying, I want to speak. My wife is a lawyer. And she said, I want to speak to your wife because my father is arrested. I said, for what? She said, God only knows. He got a phone call and he's arrested. I said, Ruby, that doesn't happen. How can you be arrested over a phone call?
Yeah.
She said, no, we'd like to know more. I mean, please get Chinmay on the phone. And I spoke to my wife and then my wife was like, yeah, that does not happen. You're definitely being scammed. But luckily for him, he had the awareness to say, let me talk to my lawyer and get back to you. Many people don't even get that opportunity.
Correct.
And he just cut the call, but they don't let you cut the call either, right? So you just end up going down that rabbit hole further and further. We started observing this a lot more with more senior citizens, and that's how we started SCAMS Senior.
Rajneil, that's very interesting. I think I'll get back to that story again. But Babu, why don't you tell them about what you do?
Yeah, so it started almost around like 2 years back in June 2023. I have heard from, that one of my friends, a common friend's father, got duped in a fake trading app scam for about 30 lakhs or something.
Oh.
And I got to know that the app was available on official app stores, right? So I, being an an iOS developer in the past, and I know that how difficult it is to publish an app there, and there are lots of scrutiny happens before apps get published. So how can scammers are able to publish such apps? Now with that question, I just started to explore the app stores, the top finance apps, etc., and from an eye that using because I was working with fintech companies, so I almost knew that okay, in finance company in finance category, the which business is real and which one is not,
right?
And whichever I haven't heard of, I just try to spend some time on that, try to understand what do they actually do. So then I detected few of the apps.
Right.
Among the top 20 apps, there were like around 4 or 5 fake loan apps. I just
Among
figured
top
out
20 apps?
among the top 20 finance apps, and
Wow.
that I could not believe it, that I thought it could be a one-off issue. It can't be real. So now what do I do with this information? Now I operate Twitter, so I just made a tweet post about it, explaining what is happening, and these companies which are claiming to be providing loan that are not even, some of them were a US based IT services company. One of them were it was a NBFC, right? They had no app out there. They didn't even have their official website also.
Right.
So something was not linking, right? So I just made a post about it that something it seems
you think
fishy.
there is something fishy?
Yeah, right. And so nothing happened. So after 10 days, I heard in the news that someone in South India had to, they suicided. And the reason was because they have taken loan from one such apps, and when they investigated, the app was one of the app which I have highlighted in that post. So now people started to refer that the app was already highlighted almost 2 weeks ago
As a scam.
And had it been removed by then and there, this mishappening should not have happened. This incident should not have happened, right? And now that was just one of a case which was in the news, and many of the people might be being harassed, falling for it. They are just paying money, whatever they are asking. Now this one person, could not. There could be many such person, right? So that is like, okay, now let me put my more time into it and see. So then I spent time on both the app stores, and came out that almost 10 to 15% of the top 200 apps were fake loan apps, right? And I was looking at from the angle that okay, only from the fake the loan apps angle, right? And it blew my mind that how is it even possible,
right?
I had iPhone at that point of time. I borrowed someone's phone, Android phone, and then so that even the ads are of the fake apps. It was coming under the sponsored category,
right?
So I thought, I just pinched myself that how can it happen? I mean, these are fake apps. Okay, somehow they just appeared here, right? Now they are doing ads. That means they are distributing on these platforms itself, and they are by marketing itself, right? That same marketing must be going on the other social media channels also, right? And these apps are having 500k plus downloads. A few of them at that point of time were active for 3 to 4 months now, and they had 1 million plus downloads
in 3 to 4 months.
In 3 to 4 months.
Wow.
Their reviews were good, right? Because they were bought over or something, right? So they were fake reviews. Their rating was fake, 4.5 or something. So it's too difficult for a layman to call them as fraud, right? But then I built that thing, that okay, I know how to investigate these apps, and I kept doing it for long period of time. So when the 1 year happened, right? So then I thought, okay, the problem is here to stay. The more I dig deeper, so I continued as a side hobby along with my
the more you discovered, the bigger problem it became.
Yes. So then the number of apps which we have flagged, identified, and removed, they were end of the day they were taken down from the app stores. The count was almost 4.5k.
4.5K.
4,500 apps. And then we thought, okay, now it has been, 1 year.
This was within 1 year, 4,500 apps.
Within 1 year, it was just a side hobby for me to figure out these apps and like publish it for everyone to be aware of, right? So then we started, okay, the problem is here to stay. No one is trying to solve this. There are multiple stakeholders which are being affected. The consumers, anyway, they are being harassed in terms of loan apps and the other scam categories I came across along this journey. That okay, there are various type of frauds, investment frauds, trading, crypto, fake games even exist, right? There are fake utility apps, fake video chat apps or something. So all these scams, they just want to extort money out of you, right?
Correct.
By whatever claim they do.
Correct.
So then I, and my colleague Rohit, we just okay, let's build something out of it, at least for some of the stakeholders. Now we can't solve it for consumers. We can't. That is a different ball game altogether.
Yeah.
But there are multiple stakeholders. We know how to identify these apps. How can we put tech into it, and can we do it at scale? And this is not only about India. Along this journey, we have tapped into countries which have similar demography, like Mexico, like India, Mexico, Brazil, Southeast Asia, like Indonesia, Philippines, all these countries. Similar modus operandi was being operated there also.
Wow.
And the percentage of apps is fake apps is even higher in those countries.
In those places.
Right.
So tell me this. So basically, you work on the more online app side, and you work with senior citizens specifically, right? So for you, like when I think about apps, there are two app stores, right? Like for example, Apple has its app store and Google has its Play Store, right? These are the two places where which has a monopoly over the app download space. How are these two companies not able to do anything to solve this problem?
Why they are not able to solve it, I'm not really sure. That's a question for me also.
Oh, really?
But yeah, they are taking their measures, but I think those are not enough. At the pace where scammers are innovating, they are bypassing rules. They probably know how the entire system works, right? So whatever policy the app stores are bringing to crack down on these fake apps, scammers are innovative enough. They are 10 steps ahead, and they know how to even game this new policy, right? How to overcome this new policy and keep executing their scam.
So if I may add a layer of complexity to that, we're a predominant Android country,
right? And
with multiple OEMs.
Okay.
So a lot of these OEMs also have their own app.
Tell the audience what OEM is.
Yeah. So the OEMs are your phone manufacturers like Samsung, Xiaomi, Oppo, Vivo, and each of these brands also have their own app stores. So while we may be aware of the processes that happen on the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store, what's happening on some of these
local app stores,
like the ones that the manufacturers run, we don't understand those processes as well. And your ability to discover and download apps does not necessarily, at least on the Android ecosystem, does not happen only on Google Play. It can also happen, for example, on Xiaomi's own app store, on Samsung's own app store, so on and so forth. In many cases, when you look at phone manufacturers from Chinese companies, when you want to download an app, you're taken to that app store, not the Play Store.
Very interesting. I've never noticed that actually.
So there are lots of sorts of distribution, right? But for normal audience, they do trust these two
platforms,
app stores, right? And they do blind trust.
Correct.
So that if it is coming from Apple App Store, if it is coming from Google Play, they have a badge called Google Play Protect. It gives them a confirmation that this is a trustworthy app, right? It can't be scamming me.
Correct.
But things are complex, and somehow those fake apps also get those badges, or somehow they do bypass all the security systems which are in place. So they do end up for the audience to be downloaded. They are also being like digitally marketed on these ad platforms through WhatsApp, Telegram, or all over social media. So once the download start happening via the ads, then the organic download also starts happening via the search system. Whenever you search for term like instant loan, personal loan, right? Let me give you an instance of September 2024. You open Apple App Store and you are in search of loan. you will typically search for, your search keyword would be loan app, personal loan app, instant loan app, something like that. Whatever you search, all the top 8 results, out of all the top 8 search results, 7 of them were of the fake loan apps. So none of the Indian, the fintech loan providers app, everything was beyond that number 8, right? So it was that serious in that particular week. So anyone who is even smart enough, they know that, okay, there are fakes going on. So they won't click on the number 1, number 2, number 3. At least in the top 8, they will give up, right? Okay, let me download this one at least. So yeah, it is too difficult for people to avoid these apps also, because they are at the top list, top search results. So probably they have taken up the entire space. And
so I think the first key takeaway that I understand from this is that whenever Android users are sort of downloading apps, they need to be careful of using these local app stores.
I mean, use trusted app stores. Even trusted app stores are not necessarily a guarantee for the best things.
Yeah, there are still loopholes. Yeah. That's why
correct.
They are able to publish these apps. Yeah.
One definite thing on an Android phone is don't download an APK outside of an app store, because that can be a lot more harmful.
Interesting. So again, I'll get to the online part of it in a bit. I want to get to the senior citizen part of it, right? When you've worked, now that you've spent 10 months working with senior citizens on this side of it, you obviously work on educating them, but you also work on helping them stay away from fraud, right? What are the different types of fraud that you're seeing amongst senior citizens? Let's say start from the offline. Do you see offline scams happening a lot, or it's just online that?
See, what has happened post-COVID is that senior citizens have also rapidly adopted technology in their lives. I don't think they had a choice, especially with COVID. What's changed for many of them is, especially if they were tech savvy on the desktop. They've now had to go to a mobile phone where the real estate is much smaller. So, whatever we think are general UI UX rules which make it easy for us may not necessarily be easy for them. And you'll notice when your own families, with your own parents or grandparents, if you tell them to book flight tickets, for example, they not want to do it on the mobile phone, they'd want to do it on a desktop because they have larger real estate to be able to see different items, right? In many ways, you'll also see parents or grandparents saying, oh, I touched something else happened. So I don't want to now touch anything at all. Let it be the way it is. So we started focusing a lot on the frauds that happen through the mobile phone, which can be either through an app, as they work a lot more on that. It can happen through a phone call. It can happen through some of the payments that you end up doing. We've kind of seen a cycle, right? If you spoke to people last year, a lot of people were getting calls either from somebody from the telecom department saying that their ID was used to get a SIM card, which was then therefore used for more illegal activities, or they were calling from the customs department, FedEx or DHL, that a package was sent in your name from India to another country where there were drugs, passports and other illegal items. Or that you were a bank account was opened in your name and proceeds from the Naresh Goyal money laundering scam is now in that account. Right. So there are 3 ways. These are 3 different ways in which scammers were trying to target people and ultimately take you down the path of what now many call digital arrest.
Got it.
Right. That was happening quite a bit, especially last year. We still see cases of that happening because you get those phone calls.
Correct.
More often than not, these are not +91 numbers. +91 is the India code. These come from numbers that you may be the US, or sometimes you won't even be able to identify what the country code is. Over the last 2 months, what we've seen again, and I noticed this, we knew this was happening much earlier as well, but last month alone, I knew at least 8 people in my own personal circles who had lost access to their WhatsApp accounts. So they were getting hijacked. So effectively think about if you and I know each other, and we do know,
right?
And you'll get a message from me saying, hey Rohit, how are you? By mistake, I sent a code to you. Please give me that code. And if you don't reply, I'm like, hey, I'm still waiting. Please send it to me. It's urgent. You'll get this code and SMS. You give me the code. The next thing you know is you've been logged out of WhatsApp as well.
Wow.
And it was not me who was
Is
messaging.
this new? I haven't
It's been around, I mean, it's picked up pace over the last 3 months.
Okay.
It's been around for at least, we heard of the first instance in October last year,
Okay.
but it was only one instance then.
Okay.
We heard of the next instance in November.
Okay.
By the time we came into January, we'd heard of it happening to people who weren't in our circles, but it was happening nonetheless.
Wow.
And in Mumbai alone last month, I knew at least 8 people in a span of like a week. So clearly, if you take Mumbai as a city, that circle, more and more people.
And the network effect, I'm guessing,
It does.
is going to everyone on WhatsApp, right?
It does. So if you're this hijacker, there are two things that happens, right? If now assume that you give me the code, the next thing you've been logged out. Now once I log into Rohit Agarwal's WhatsApp, my next thing is who are Rohit's friends? Come, let's ensure we get access to their WhatsApp. Number one.
Yeah.
Or let's ask for money, saying I'm in an emergency, please send me money, right?
Yeah.
So that's ending up being a chain effect. And you're getting locked out of WhatsApp because they're changing your backup email ID. So even if you try to log back in, you may not get your OTP coming
But
back.
how does it happen so quickly with just an OTP?
So if you're logging in through WhatsApp, you usually have your phone number,
Right.
and your OTP is usually the password.
Correct.
Now, a way to protect yourself from that is if you have something called as two-factor authentication.
Correct.
It is an additional 6-digit code, which is there in settings, and you can do only you know that code. And now there's something called a passkey, which is like your fingerprint or your face ID on an iPhone. Those are ways to protect yourself, but not many people have done that. So it's easy, therefore, it's actually that easy sometimes to be able to log into somebody else's WhatsApp if you're not careful in giving that OTP to somebody else.
So second key takeaway is don't share random OTPs even if they're your friends.
Yeah, I mean, if assume a friend is asking you for something, call and check, hey, did you ask me for an OTP on WhatsApp? I mean, the thing is why people would trust that on WhatsApp also is when you open WhatsApp, you're like, oh, I was chatting with my friend yesterday. And I can see that the number is the same.
Yeah.
The display photo is the same. The name is the same.
Chat is there.
Chat is there. I have no reason to suspect that something could have gone wrong.
Correct.
And then that's how it's a cycle that keeps continuing.
That's crazy.
So that's of course been one scam. Again, while it does impact most people disproportionately against seniors because they're most trusting of people who are already chatting with them. We've seen that the KYC scams are big for seniors as well. I've known of people who've lost 15, 20 lakhs because somebody from the bank called and said, you know, your KYC spending, why don't you come and do KYC? I know it's very hot in Delhi. Don't bother walking to the branch. We'll do it over the phone. They get an app sent to them. They try logging into the app. Nothing happens on the app. So the guy on the other line says, oh, well, something seems to be wrong. Why don't you give us the OTP? We've sent one to your phone. So the first time the OTP comes and the scammer says, oh, this OTP is not working. We're sending one more to you. And the second time when the OTP is again handed over to the scammer, there's money that's been deducted.
Yeah.
What effectively happened is that Android app which was sent over WhatsApp was not the official app of the bank.
Correct.
It looked like it was.
It was a replica.
It was a replica. My colleague's father put in his username and password, so they already had captured that keystone. They just needed the OTPs after that.
Oh my God. And these are just getting more and more sophisticated. So for example, the WhatsApp hijack that you're talking about, I've been hearing, or I've personally also seen that kind of thing happen on Instagram.
Yeah.
Right, where they hack an account and then they will send their friends a DM with a link.
Yeah.
Those friends will click the link and then their account will also get hijacked.
I think in many ways we're more accustomed to both our social media accounts this happening. It's been happening for years.
Right.
I don't think anybody anticipated that this would also move to WhatsApp in that sense.
Yeah.
Only because in WhatsApp, I mean, many people, for example, may or may not use Facebook, Instagram, of course, but WhatsApp is your daily driver in many ways. And now that it's come to WhatsApp, the usual caution that you might have when you get a random message from a person you've hardly spoken to in a while on Facebook versus somebody you know you're speaking to and then getting a code.
Yeah. So whenever I think of these stories, right, there's a lot of psychological element that is attached to it, right? Like how these scammers talk to you, the way they sort of message you, the way they speak to you on the phone. Hello, sir, kaise ho? So have you guys done any research on that as to what is it that they are learning, or what is it that they're doing that they're able to understand a human so much better than, say, a lot of us, and are able to pull off these scams? Do you have anything on that?
No, I mean, I haven't gone that far to understand that fact. But yes, like they are, hiring people who can, do these calls for them. So I have, when he was talking about that, the people are getting these international calls for digital arrest, right?
Correct.
So I too, as I have received, such calls back in November, December, right? So one such call, I thought, let's
Play with
talk
them.
today, right? So that guy was speaking, fluent Hindi. That number was from Syria.
Okay.
And that guy understood that I was just playing with him. So he was also under the, being confident that he understood that I was being played. So he was also telling his information.
Okay.
And he said, I am in Russia. I am from Punjab. I have been doing this for 7 to 8 years now. Earlier, he used to do those American Express credit card kind of scam where, people operate from here, target the US people.
citizens, yeah.
That Microsoft support system wala stuff.
Correct.
He recently moved there. They are a team of 30 people and they pay them almost 7 lakh rupees a month. So like I couldn't have made this money by doing anything else, right?
Yeah.
So
you can build an actual legitimate career in this industry.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they are being paid this much. So I mean, so if you tell this to 100 people,
Yeah.
20 people will agree that okay, even if it's bad, I'll do it, right? And given the large size of India and the youth is unemployed, so
Correct.
they can fall for it, right?
I think one of the biggest reasons, say for example, Jamtara is known for phishing scams, right?
Yeah.
One of the biggest reasons for Jamtara to be Jamtara was because of, say, the unemployment and the high illiteracy rate and all of that,
Yeah,
right?
but that's still moving, right? So you now have more. Jamtara at one point was a scam capital in India.
Correct.
Now there are many more areas. There's Nu and Mewat, for example, where you're also
Sorry?
Nu
Okay.
and Mewat, which
Okay.
are also known for having
Oh.
some of these gangs that operate,
Okay.
which indulge in trying to scam more people. Effectively, what scammers have realized is, let's take India in context. So 900 million users, internet users, right? Many of them on the mobile phone for the very first time.
Correct.
There is this notion that what you see is what you believe and what you trust.
Correct.
And the revolution we've seen, as Rohit was observing a while back, in payments, it is seamless. It's easy to make UPI transactions. But it also means that bad actors will try and take advantage of it. Now, the academic term is social engineering, but it's how can they try and relate to you, make it seem like they're actually there to help you, and then try and ultimately cheat you.
Yeah.
And it goes back to two human emotions which they'll play on. One, of course, is fear. They'll really put the fear of God or the fear of authorities and the bad things that can happen to you if you don't listen to them.
Correct.
Like in the digital arrest, it's all about we're here to help you, cooperate with us. We want to give you a police clearance certificate that the package that you sent, your ID has been misused, but it's not you because you don't know where it is. You're in Delhi, but the customs package is in Bombay, so you have to come to Bombay to file that complaint, but you cannot fly down. So let us
help you
do this, right? We'll transfer you. So in many ways, that's one aspect which leads to how these scams happen. And especially if it's a senior, you're able to pressure them a lot more.
Yeah.
We're able to create the sense of urgency.
Correct.
And what they do in that instant is ensure you're isolated so you can't seek help. And I remember similar to what he did, I also liked baiting scammers. So when I got this call, I said, okay, come, let's go. So he would ultimately say, let's get on to Skype.
So you also went into a digital arrest scam.
He tried, but the place where the scammer got me was he kept saying, show me your Aadhaar card. And at that time I was like, damn it, if I share my Aadhaar card, he'll have the real number. I can't now text my graphic designer and say, please give me a Aadhaar card or fake Aadhaar, right? And I think at some point, even that scammer knew that I was taking him for a ride.
Right.
And it's funny because till then they're nice to you and then they devolve into a match of the choicest cuss words you'll ever hear. Okay. And that's exactly what happened because at some point he then started using foul language and I said, police agar aise baat karte to shobha nahi deta. And he instantly said, shobha nahi deta, and he went into an expletive right after that. And it was only expletives even after.
Wow.
And so that happened. So there's fear on one side and greed on the other. And why many people fall for the investment schemes, for example, is because if you can double your money in a month or two, why would you not take it?
Correct.
If you really think it's legitimate. And because they also fake the social proof of the testimonials of people saying, oh, yes, this is great, I've doubled my money. So those two core emotions are exploited in different ways. And it's like a book. So they know exactly what to say for anything that you may tell them.
Correct.
So when this person said, okay, give me your Aadhaar, I said, sure. I said, hold on a minute, my computer is acting up. Let me download one. So I went to the Aadhaar website, downloaded the masked Aadhaar. I didn't want him to have my full number.
Yeah.
They know, like, XXX kyun hai? Why only the last 4 digits? I want to see all the digits. I was like, no, this is only, it allowed me to download. So it's not like they themselves don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
They do know quite a bit of this as well.
Correct.
And also with time they do, as I was telling with that instance, that guy was doing it for 7 to 8 years now. So they have been doing it for such a long time that they know each and every, because they have improved a lot, right?
Yeah.
They know that something which didn't work yesterday, so I have to, speak it like that. So they have been improving themselves, like so they know what with what question, what answer, the
What answer
normal
to give,
human will give.
Yeah.
The psychology play
They
is
sort of
also
create a playbook for
there.
themselves. Ki what question should have what answer, So what is the most common what is the most common type of scam that you guys are seeing right now?
When it comes to apps, the loan apps are still continuing, but for last 6 to 8 months we are seeing that the fake apps which are targeting trusted financial brands from all over the world, scammers are using clone apps. They just use a white label solution. They just put that trusted brand's logo over it and their brand name on it, and they create WhatsApp groups. They do build up of like, okay, this is a great exclusive product and we are going to launch where we are making people double their money in this short span of time, and then
like one of those
they
Telegram
do
groups
it for
itself.
3 to 4 weeks. And once they think that there are enough people who have been seem to be convinced with us, then they say that okay, from Monday onwards we will launch this plan, so take this this is the app link, download it and create your profile there. This is your unique invitation code, and someone from our team will guide you one-on-one. So when it comes from that you are already convinced within that month's period, right? So then you won't be doubting whatever they are sharing. And that apps happen to be from from the official app stores. Now this application must be having just very, very low number of downloads, just because it is being sent over those one-on-one chats only to the victims. They are not being marketed, right? So the difficult to catch these kind of apps, because they are being distributed whenever there is a demand that okay, you are my potential victim, right? So I'll just send it to you. So it won't be there on those search results or on those top of those trending lists, right? And this is going silently. No one knows about it. I also want to talk to my friend also about it, that okay, once I'll make some great money, right, in that fake app. Let's say I have put in some small amount on day one, okay, 50,000. Now they do on a given particular day in market, there are some companies which gives plus 10%, plus 20%, right? There will be some stocks which will give you minus 20%, or so they show trades like that. Just before it went to plus 20%, we just bought just before that. So your 50,000 is almost 60,000 by end of the day, right? So in the app, it is showing, okay, there's a trade these guys made on my behalf. My money is 60,000 now.
Right.
They do a couple of such, within a week's time, it just goes, 1.5 lakh or something. Okay. At that point of time, you are thinking that, do they allow withdrawal or not? So in the initial stage, when the money invested is low, they do allow withdrawal.
Got it.
So then your hypothesis is like, okay, there's no room for doubt, because they are allowing me to redeem
They'll
money.
win your trust with small amounts.
And while all those conversations were going on, so they know how much money, how much potentially you will invest, right? They know what's your net worth, how much you have already invested in mutual funds, stocks, etc. How much is in your FD, how much is in your bank accounts. They already know about you.
Correct.
So they will allow you a small withdrawal in initial stages. And when you put 5 lakh rupees, 10 lakh rupees, and then you just want to make money, right? From your pocket, you have almost invested, let's say 50 lakh rupees, and in that app, it shows, okay, 2.5 crore or something.
But
now you would want to make some exit, right? And that time they will do, they will say that, okay, we have made you this much, you have to pay 10% commission to us. Now you think that, okay, yes, these guys are, right, they have made me this much money, let me pay that percentage to them. So then again he's
Paying say 5 lakhs.
paying some 5 lakh rupees to them. Then they say, okay, now you have to pay capital tax, which is like 12%, 15%, whatever it is. Because there are 2.5 crores, you think that, okay, I have enough money, right? And they're asking for 10 lakh rupees or 15 lakh rupees more, so then you will give that also.
Yeah.
And the third time now, okay, allow me withdrawal. Now they will try to convince you with some more taxes or some fees or something. Now you think that, okay, let me talk to my friend that this app I have made money and not allowing me. By the time it's too late, because you have been sending them money from last 2 to 3 weeks, right? That money, you're not sure where the money has gone now, and you have invested whatever you had, right? Your FDs, your savings.
Correct.
Many a times we also hear from victims that they have taken business loans. Instead of putting into their real business,
they put it
the
in
loan
this.
was approved and they thought, okay, for few days, let me put it here, right? I'm anyway making money. So these are the cases, which, keep coming to.
Okay, so since you've dealt with so much on this side, what makes people want to put so much money? Like, I understand that someone would say put 50K, 1 lakh, say it goes up to 5 lakhs. But we hear scams going up to say 50 lakhs, 1 crore and all of that, right? What makes them even put that kind of money in?
Not everyone have heard of those stories, right? And everyone think like I am, fraud मेरे साथ नहीं हो सकता, right? Like I'm intelligent enough, right? I have also verified. They are allowing withdrawal. They have been claiming that there's some experienced guy is launching some exclusive plan from that particular financial brand, right? So it's not like instant वो OTP जैसा नहीं है. It's like it will go on
for a long-term thing.
For a long-term thing, and then they are not in a hurry to execute scam in a day's time. They'll allow you withdrawal. They'll small chunks, right? So you think that everything is in place, right? There's no red flag till now. So you won't doubt.
You're talking about lakhs. There was a Bangalore businessman who lost 6 crores.
6 crores?
Yeah, 6 crores. And again, it's
on like a fake app?
Yeah, the fake investment scheme. It's greed.
Wow.
Because when you start seeing that, I'm going to make money so easily, then why would I not put in more money?
That's very true.
You're seeing the fake testimonials of, yes, this is happening. We heard of a victim as well. Again, senior citizens in Delhi, retired from, had a banking job. The husband basically got added on a WhatsApp group and said that this is a great scheme. He saw like fake message. I mean, what we think are fake messages from others saying is this is great. Not only did he put his own life savings, he convinced his friends and colleagues to also put in their money into this. So now they ultimately had to sell their house to pay back their friends and colleagues with no visibility about them getting. So you do really kind of go down this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
That's of course been one of the most popular scams you've seen.
Okay.
The WhatsApp hijacking, of course, is only going to pick up steam because India is WhatsApp country in many ways. And if people don't realize that whoever's asking them for the code is probably not who they're actually chatting with, that's there. A lot of people are seeing these ads on social media of people like Anant Ambani, Mukesh Ambani, Narayan Murthy, in some cases even the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister, saying that we've come up with a new scheme and you just have to invest 21,000 rupees and then you will get 40 lakhs over the course of the rest of your life. Now, yes, the downside is, I mean, your upside, what you lose is still 21,000. But even that 21,000, you may not get back ever. Now, for some people, losing 21,000 may not be much. But for many people, it's their month's earnings.
Especially in India, like that's the kind of economic situation we have.
And you look at these videos because what they basically, they're taking real clips, but using AI voiced clones of these personalities to say things like that. I remember this one video which showed
So these are all deep fakes, I'm guessing, right?
These are all deep fakes. And ultimately what they, in many cases, if you try and pursue it, they will end up going back to apps. So you know how it connects.
Fake websites, right? When the app from the app store is taken down, they immediately launch a website that for the time being you use this, website. By the time they again launch a backup application with minor tweaking of that original name, right? Okay, we have a new app now. Now that all the backend systems are same, right? Because it's the same app, right? Just that it is placed in a iOS application or that kind of application, right? So your login would work in that next app also.
I remember this one video and it showed the Prime Minister saying, I'm very sorry to say that my cabinet ministers have been hiding this from you, but I have now instructed them to ensure that you can participate in this scheme where if you invest X amount of money, you will start getting Y in return. And then it shows the finance minister apologizing to the people of India, saying, I'm sorry, but it's not like I was hiding it from you. We were first testing it.
Wow.
And now that we've tested it, we're happy to roll it out for you, right? And it's a full deep fake.
That's mind-boggling.
And the funny part is, I've had many seniors come and say, we've seen this on our feeds. I don't think we've ever seen
Targeting
older people
yeah.
or those who are not as
That
aware.
tech-savvy,
It's never on our feeds, but it's there on their feeds.
Correct. Wow. So again, talking about AI, I'm guessing since you work more on the app side of it, AI definitely would have helped you recognize more of these scams, right?
Right. Off late, we have, when we started to do it for the full, for full time, let's do it at scale. It's a global problem now, right? And to do it at that scale, you have to deploy technology, and at today that is available, right? And so we have been doing it. So we have learned how to figure this out. Now we are making the machine learn it and do it, at a 100x scale for us. Be it any country, the language is not a barrier there, right? I don't know Spanish, right? But when I say that these percentage apps in Mexico App Store are, fake and fraud, according to my methodology, right? So that language is not the barrier there, right?
Anymore.
I just probably know how scammers are working.
Correct.
Because I have been step following them for a long period of time. I do understand their MO.
Right.
What would be their potentially next step, right? If these apps taken down, what to expect? They will come back. With probably this kind of a modus operandi. Right?
Yeah. So it would have helped you, but then I'm guessing it's helping the scammers as well to increase the way they scam and the capacity at which they scam. Have you seen any uptick? Because again, AI has sort of become the buzz thing in the last, say, 3-4 years now, right? Have you seen an uptick in the volume of scams that are happening in, say, the last 3-4 years just because of AI entering the market in the way it has?
So I'm not sure exactly how they are applying the AI thing for their scam.
Okay.
But they are releasing.
They are publishing. One of the biggest use cases.
Yes, in the ads, those fake ads, they are definitely using AI there. But for app publishing, because they are doing it at a rapid pace, right? They are launching 10 applications of a particular financial brand.
Correct.
In parallel, right? So you will catch 1 or 2 of them and you will be happy about it, that okay, we have caught and we have just sorted this matter. But there are 8 other going on. Once you catch them, there are 10 other backups are already being planned. They just push a button and they just goes live, right? So to do it at scale, I'm sure they are using help of because the 10 different apps, right, which is serving the same purpose.
Correct.
So the content, the presentation of
essentially the cloning process and all of that becomes much easier through AI.
Yes.
I mean, who knows? There might be a YouTube video out there saying, see how I built this app using AI. And that same app could...
There definitely is.
I mean, there must be, right?
Sure.
I mean, everyone's saying, oh, look, you can now build apps using AI. So it must be infinitely easier for even people who don't know how to code to make these apps.
Yeah, for sure.
Now you just have to give a prompt of let's say 100 words and it will give you, okay, this is the app, just download it and publish it wherever you want. I think it has become this easy, right? So
very interesting. So for both of you, this challenge that you both have taken up is a big problem to solve, right? There must be one moment where both of you would have really appreciated the work you are doing, right? There must be that one case that you solved, or say you solved, that would have really given you that dopamine that yes, I've done something good. Was there any particular case where you realized that?
I think for us, so we've been visiting senior living homes across the country, trying to do these sessions on how to stay safe from scams. Now, it's not easy for us when a person's already scammed to help them get their money back.
Right.
That's very hard for someone like us to do. But we tell them that these are certain behaviors or patterns that you can adopt that can save you or protect you. And some of the things that seniors do is when they do something, they'll message you and say, I got a call like this and I said this, did I do the right thing? I did the right thing, right? And I'll be like, yes, absolutely, that's fantastic. So you feel happy when you have more people just informing you that the the content you made or the sessions you've taken has helped them or their loved ones stay safe.
Right.
It does.
Oh.
And it's not, I'm not saying if they'd come for a session, they would have
wouldn't
been
have,
saved, right? But
higher chances of them being saved.
yeah, maybe they would have identified the pattern a lot better. But then at that instant, you want to help. But the fact that the seniors are calling you and they trust that you can do something for them, I think I feel good about that.
What about you? Was there any particular case that you were like, wow, this is so good?
While I was quite vocal about it, whatever kind of scam apps I was, keep coming across, I used to post about it, because otherwise, how do I communicate this to to the audience, right? And they should know. And probably if Rajneil come across this, he will talk about this issue, and probably it will reach to the senior citizens he is addressing to, right? So I was just, whatever I was coming across, I was telling it wide open. And so meanwhile, so there was victims, started to reach out that, okay, I have downloaded this app, now scammers are harassing me, what should I do now? So I think the best way to handle scammers is, okay, I made a SOP for them. Okay, these are the 4 steps. This is only thing you need to do, and we'll talk about it later. What I think it can work if you are in this kind of a situation. And they keep, they come back after few weeks and they say that thing worked. The scammers have stopped harassing me now, and I don't get those calls now. That phase is over, right? So that is one thing. Also on when we think that we are doing something, we are doing something different, which relates to the clone apps of financial brands are coming right now. They have all the resources. They do have companies which takes care of this particular issue for those companies. But many a times it was us for the first time when we were telling it that, okay, your fake app is out there, right? Okay. So they were knowing it via us. So it means that, okay, we are probably at that point of time we were not doing it for we are not solving that particular problem, but it was like, okay, we are the first one to tell it to them, right? So that means we are doing something right. So and we were, for 3 to 4 such financial institutions, we had identified these applications in double digits, one after another. And probably the day they were being launched, probably the day or the next day we were catching it. Wow. So we were kind of, we know that this particular brand is on target, right? So their app has been just removed yesterday. So the scammers will launch a new one today, right? So we were just like making the life hard for the scammers. And after, after publishing these so many apps, they would just give up on, like, okay, like probably this particular brand is like too proactive. So my scam won't work using their brand name, right?
Correct. So they will switch the brand name.
They will switch the brand name. They'll pick any random brand like from US, right? And they will use the scam here. Now, when you are introduced that, okay, some American XYZ company is launching exclusive investment plan here in India, and if you go to Google, that company exists because that is a real company.
Correct.
And now the plan is exclusive, so it won't be there on the Google feed. There won't be news about it because it's exclusive. So it is being discussed here in this group only, right? So that's where, people who are curious that, okay, it could be a scam, but they also get that confirmation that, okay, this company exists, so these claims are, valid.
So really tech savvy people can also get caught up in something like this. Okay, so for the viewers, let's sort of try and at least list down what are different types of scams that are currently in the market, right? Like, for example, we spoke about digital arrest, we spoke about fake trading app, fake game app, fake dating app, fake loan app, right? What are the other different types of scams that can happen?
So the ones that we've seen the KYC process being scammed. Right. That, of course, is one. There are these fake utility bills and challan scams.
Okay, what is that?
So the utility bill is, you can either get a call or it can be a message saying that you've not paid your electricity bill or you've not paid your gas bill.
Right.
And they'll call you only in the evening, especially with electricity. And they say, we're going to cut it in the next 2 hours.
Okay.
Okay. And when you're going to cut it in the next 2 hours in the evening, it only means that you're going to have a night of darkness. So you're obviously a lot more panicky in that situation. And it can play out in a couple of ways. One is they say, I'm sending you a link, please pay this amount here. It'll look like BSES Rajdhani if you're in Delhi, for example, but it's not BSES Rajdhani. The payment will go through, you paid 3,000 rupees, but to somebody else. In the other instance, this happened to a neighbor of ours. He got the message, he tried to pay the bill didn't go through, but the page had a very nice message which said, if you're facing trouble with payment, please call here. He called. The next thing he said, okay, we'll send you an app, why don't you try to make a payment through the app? Wow. And he downloaded the app and he allowed the permissions to be given. He put in certain details, and the next thing he knew is he wasn't in control of his own device. So the utility bills can happen in that sense. We've heard of people who've been getting calls apparently from the traffic police saying that your challans are outstanding, and if you don't pay the challans anymore, don't pay it on time, then we're going to come to your house and tow the car. We're already outside your house, in fact. Oh, okay. Here's the APK. We're sending you when I mean APK, it's an Android package kit. Please download this app and pay the bill. Or here is a ID, kind of pay that. So we've seen that kind of, it happens that maybe the ticket sizes of these are a lot smaller. So you may not tend to hear of them a lot more often. We've seen, yes, the KYC scams, these scams, the WhatsApp scam again is picking up. There's another thing where we saw this happen again. I mean, I don't know why, but a lot of the victims we've seen are coming from Bombay for us. Okay. This person was called and said, a person tried to deliver a package to you, but you were not available for delivery. So why don't you call the delivery guy again, because he's still in your area. Ab madam, ab ghar aa gaye kya? Like, हाँ aa gaye. तो madam फोन कीजिए ना. So सर अभी हम आपको एक मैसेज पे नंबर भेज रहे हैं, आप उस मैसेज पे फोन करिए. They send you a number. The moment you actually press on that number and click call, it is automatically forwarding your phone calls to another number. Now, the reason why the automatic phone call forwarding can happen is you don't have to get OTP only by SMS. You can also get OTP by a phone call. So now the phone calls are directly going to the scammer who may, trying to undertake a transaction, may already have some details about you. Right. The same, the MO of forwarding calls can happen in different pretexts. Somebody can say a package is not delivered. Somebody can say for KYC, you have to verify your phone number. So please dial this number. Correct. So that's one of the scams that we're seeing. Deep fakes, of course. Investment scams continue to be, as he's mentioned, abated. I mean, there's no end to it as yet. And it just keeps going on.
So those are investments one are, the large ticket. Achha. Once the victim is in, so they will give whatever they have, right? So that is why...
Is investment bigger than loan?
After that, if we have to... the loan one is still continuing, if they are not publishing apps, calling it a loan app, they are call it a loan EMI calculator or something, right? So somehow so you think it's a calculator app, but actually inside it is serving those illegal apps. They are probably downloading the APKs or probably redirecting to some other websites, right? So that's how through these calculators, etc. So the ammo of fake loan apps is still continuing, right? Now that it is cricket season here in India, so we are seeing since last 2 months that betting apps, right? Betting is illegal in India, but they, we see influx of these apps in use number. Not really sure how exactly it is doing, but when the cricket season is on, betting is also, going on. People do want to, the track of who won or not, right? And everyone is on the app. So there are a lot of betting apps these days.
I'm guessing you're working with these like Dream 11 kind of companies also.
Not working till now, but we are ready, for we are ready for everyone. To simply put, you give us an app. We are building a app classifier, which you give us any app, right? And we will classify whether it is a genuine app or it is a fraud app. Got it. Right? Later on, it could be any website, right? Or
Yeah.
and we will our classifier would call it as a genuine or fraud. And there are a lot of use cases where it can go back into, probably in some senior where they can build a security tool, right? And also with this information, it is useful for everyone. For if it is a branded fake app, right? So they would want to take it down immediately, right? Because they are using their name.
Correct.
It could be it could go back and plugged into the ad platform itself, because that's where these app downloads are happening, through those ads. Now they also can double check with us with this system that whether this app, someone is trying to advertise, whether this is a genuine or not.
So there are a lot of use cases too.
There are a lot of use cases. So we are, putting our heads down and, building this right now. Yeah.
He mentioned topical, and I must say scammers are creative. So the financial year is now going to end.
Right.
And you will be filing taxes in sometime in July. July 31st is usually the date. So usually in the month of August, we will suddenly see these scams around income tax refunds.
Oh.
Right. I remember the last year, there was a scam which was only targeting iOS users because the scammers were messaging via iMessage, not even text.
Wow.
Right. It has to do with postbox.
I thought iOS was safer.
It is in many ways, but I'm not sure about the message.
I mean, the communication channel is safe, but the party on the other side have bad intention, right? So the channel of communication is safe, right? Your chat stays with you, mine is mine, right?
The person is itself bad, then what can you do?
If it's a bad actor. So, they also kind of, it's very, for example, many people know that the end of the year is Shadi season. There's so many weddings, right? So in between there was this thing where I think it was a wedding card, which was actually again an APK, which was stealing your information, but it was disguised as a wedding card. So there also, I mean, depending on what's happening in the environment. I remember they would also be like, when India sent, I think, one of the rockets and we were celebrating, it said to celebrate the fact that our rocket has gone to space and we've landed somewhere, the Prime Minister is giving you this free. Wow. So please come here. So it's also very, very topical.
Yeah.
And you also have to therefore keep seeing, okay, what is being said, what is being spread. And you sometimes want to investigate, and you're also scared because you can go type in your data, you don't know what's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
But you still want to kind of go and do it because that's only way you'll get to know what's
there.
The MO is.
So, okay, fine. I think we've discussed a lot about the kind of scams that are there. I want to go into more about action, right? Like people that are watching, what can they do? So let's start from like the step one, right? Like one of the most, again, this is a problem that I don't know if it has a solution or not, which is of data leak, right? Because scammers are usually able to scam because they have your data. Right. First of all, how are these scammers able to get the data? I know where they're getting it from, but then of course you can lay it out for the audience. And what can we as, say, the layman do to protect ourselves from our data getting leaked?
One of the advice we give is that because we're in this increasingly connected world, please assume that your data is out there in the public.
Okay.
Don't believe that everything you have is secret. Somebody there already knows it. Right?
Okay.
Because many of the most popular apps that we use have had data leaks in the past.
Correct.
That data has then gone onto the dark web, has been bought and sold.
Our Aadhaar data itself was leaked.
Yeah. PF, for example, there was an insurance company last year, and that case is murky. But for what it's worth, you assume that a lot of your data is already out there. This can include your usernames and passwords.
Oh.
Now, usually there are two. Now, if you're logging in the banking app, for example, what does a banking app test? There's something that you know and something that you have. Something that you know is your password. Something that you have is your phone on which the OTP comes. And therefore, that is why you'll need. So more often not, scammers will already know what you know, but they don't have what you have, and that's what they're going to try and get after.
Very interesting.
Right? And when we try and work with seniors, we focus on, therefore, the digital safety practices that they must adopt so that what they have does not get compromised even further.
Got it.
And in any way, they don't end up sharing whatever information comes on what they have, in this case, the mobile phone, with other people.
Right.
So we do a very specific session while we explain these scams. With every scam, we say, here are the do's and don'ts. But we do a separate session on digital safety for seniors.
Okay.
So we look at device safety, we look at banking and payment safety, we look at email account safety, and then we just look at your social media and messaging, right? What are the best practices that you must adopt there? And for each of these 4 categories, we have like even more detailed explanations. And when we work with seniors, we try and make them enable these settings or do these along with us.
Got
So it doesn't feel like we're coming, talking to them and going, and they still don't know how.
Practically helping them.
Yeah, it has to be practical and engaging. A lot of tips there, like simple things, right? If you're making a UPI payment, for example, please remember you only have to put in your UPI PIN when you are making a payment. But if somebody's telling you, I'm trying to send you money, but still you have to put your PIN, that never happens. That only means they've sent you a payment request, they're waiting for you to put in your PIN to accept it. So the money still goes back to them. So we focus on these aspects.
Got it. Anything from your end?
So from my end, it would be, I think we are in 2025. So I think the time has come to don't believe what is being displayed on your social media in any of those ads. Take a pause before clicking on this flashy ad. The CTA button is inviting you to, okay, join now, click now, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Take a pause. Once you click on it, you see, okay, it looks like a genuine thing. Go back somewhere, do your own due diligence, right? Ask around, right? So
Maybe if you want to download an app, instead of going through the ad, if they go to the app store and then do it, is that fine? Does that work? Or
but
then also they're
still,
fakeness?
I mean, you have to take a pause before. Don't be in a hurry, right?
Okay.
You search for something, some app flashed, install, and then you suddenly. So then those pop-ups keep coming. We are asking for permission.
Right.
We are send you notification. You are in a hurry so you will click okay, and
right.
all those options. So in that flow, they could take your contact permission, gallery permission. Some of these apps where people, let's say, it works out in in the rural audience where you have put in a decent video on your WhatsApp status. Now people want to download it and put in there, or probably want to redistribute it.
Right.
So now there are such apps where they are calling WhatsApp status downloader or Instagram status story downloader, reel downloader or something. What they essentially do is, if it is a reel downloader, you put in a link. Now if that is a private video, now you really want to download that video, but now they say that, okay, it's a private video, we probably want to you enter your WhatsApp username and password. So that's how you leak yourself, right?
Got it.
And if that was a gallery thing, so how do I download the WhatsApp status is probably you have to share your permission, either screen recording permission or something. So while you are thinking you are just doing a normal utility stuff, right? But via that you end up giving unnecessary permission to that shady app, right? That was not that real downloader. If it was available, it should be from Instagram, right? If they don't want you to get download these apps, those are illegal stuff, right? If someone is giving you something for free, okay, free download of Instagram reel, etc., they must be taking away something from you, right? Either show you ad. Now that is a
that thing when if something is
still
free, you
okay,
are the
but
problem.
they end up taking all those unnecessary permission. Then it could be SMS, contacts, and everything. Now they know almost everything about you. Now that particular application was targeted towards you. Now they have your contact and gallery permission, etc. So now they will use that information against you via some other scam app, right? Now this application itself was not doing scam, but it was leaking your information.
Haven't loan apps done that? Like they took your photos and they were blackmailing.
That loan app itself was taking this contact and.
But here someone is taking and someone else is using it.
So that's how we think that how my data is leaked, right? Like my photos leaked, etc. So through these apps, because to use that app, let's say you want to change your photo and you have to in some other character or some edit of your photo. So it will ask you to give the permission to read your gallery. Correct. Now they are supposed to, if they are a genuine business or a audited business, so they will only use that particular image. But it's a scam app, right? They have bad intentions, so they will take all your photos from that.
Wow. Okay, fine. That's the first step. Now, second step, suppose I'm in the process of getting scammed, right? Whether say I've downloaded an app and I'm sort of interacting with that app, or maybe I'm on call with someone who's sort of taken the OTP and it's like transaction has not yet happened, but it's about to happen. Is there anything that can be done in that process to say stop the transaction?
Do you want to go first on the app part?
No, you.
Okay.
You.
See, the thing is, if you're already on a call and you've already given the OTP, you're probably not speaking to somebody else. I think it might be too late for us to stop it, because once you handed over a 6-digit passcode, the transaction must have happened. I think what I would more importantly say is, if first and foremost, if it's an unknown phone number, you don't have to necessarily pick it up.
Okay.
If it is urgent, this person is going to call you back again, or will drop a message saying it's urgent, I need to speak to you. Many times we've observed that the numbers that scammers call from, you can never call them back.
Okay.
I also want to highlight that we keep saying don't share OTP, don't share OTP. In 2 instances, OTP sharing is a must if you want to avail a service. One is when you board a cab.
Right.
Using Uber, Ola, or I'm guessing even Rapido, I've not used it. The other is when you've ordered something on e-commerce for high ticket items,
They will ask for OTP.
the Wishmaster or the delivery agent will only first ask for the OTP before they hand over the product.
Correct.
So know what are the legitimate use cases of giving an OTP versus not giving an OTP, because you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot in these other 2 use cases.
Right.
That's number one. If there's an unknown person and you don't know why this person is saying, we are going to help you with KYC, we're going to help you with law enforcement or whatever. If somebody claims to be from law enforcement, can be police, can be the court officials, can be customs department, enforcement directorate, CBI. Always remember that if the law enforcement really has something to do with you, they will either come and visit you at home, or they will ask you to go to the nearest police station.
Correct.
They're not going to ask you to transfer money on the phone, put money into an escrow account, or try and arrest you over a Skype call or a WhatsApp call. That never happens. In Indian law, there's no concept of digital arrest.
Digital arrest, yeah.
Right? 2 is, even if somebody, assume it's from the bank, you might have a relationship manager, or just go to the bank branch. I'm not saying that the bank branch is going to make everything hunky-dory. Sometimes data leaks are happening from the bank branch too. But at least you have a physical interface to go hold them responsible. Many times I get calls saying, I'm your new relationship manager, why don't you invest in this? I'm like, I don't know you. Why should I engage with you in a conversation, right? If you are my relationship manager, one, your name should show in my app that you are my RM.
Correct.
Right? There's a formal process. Correct. But it's also funny. The other day, we had some compliance issue and somebody called up who happened to be from the GST authorities. But for the longest time, I was like, you've called from a mobile number. How am I to take you seriously? Because what you're also telling me doesn't seem to make sense.
Correct.
But you need to have the, and the guy on the other side was nice enough to take pains and say, no, I really am from the authority.
Yeah.
And I know these details which are otherwise not public. So be rest assured that I am talking to you.
This has happened with me also a lot of times. Like, for example, my bank has been calling me for a KYC.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking it's a scam. And then finally they were like, hey, listen, just go to your net banking. You'll be able to do it there.
But at least see, they're telling you to go to an official property of theirs, but they're not guiding you to say, please click on click on the link we've sent you, or download a app that we've sent you.
Correct.
So take precautions like that. It's okay to question authority on the phone because you may not know that they are really the authorities. And if it's somebody you don't know, please don't engage. And even if somebody claims to say that, I know your daughter, I know your son, I know your father, I know your mother, please first contact the people they're referencing to ask, do you know this person? They're calling me, they're saying so and so, so and so, so and so.
No, so there was this one type of scam a friend told me about, where she got a call from a random number and she was in a hurry, and that guy was also in a hurry. Hello, आपके पापा ने मुझे नंबर दिया है, उन्होंने बोला आपको 5,000 रुपए चाहिए, मैं आपको अभी भेज रहा हूँ. And she was like, हाँ भेज दो. And then she gets a message कि 50,000 has been credited. Then that guy will call him, अरे मैडम आपको गलती से मैंने 50,000 भेज दिया, 5,000, can you send back 45,000? And she sent back 45,000, and then she realized it's a scam.
And that message would have not been from a bank.
Yeah.
It would have been a normal SMS.
Normal SMS.
Yeah. Again, in situations like these,
You have to be very self-aware, no?
be self-aware. Just because you receive an SMS doesn't mean that the transaction has happened.
Correct.
Please open your banking app or your net banking and check if the money has been credited to you. That's the first instance.
Correct.
I'll take this question from the app perspective, that you have downloaded an app, let's say a loan app, right? And you have completed the sign up process. They have sent you X amount of money there are 3, 4, 5 days has happened. Now they start to call you. That's when you realize that
It's a scam.
it is a scam, because they are also telling that you have to pay 2x the money. If they sent you 1,000 rupees, they'll ask you that you have to, by end of the day today, you have to send 2,000 rupees. Now, you can't, right? Because you thought there will be EMIs, there will be so much, and you will get enough time to pay them back. It will not be a 7 days time period. So they continuously, they keep calling you. They do WhatsApp messages, WhatsApp calls, right? And from different numbers. So at that point of time, many people, they think that what should I do now, right? Because they take names that we will tell this thing to your family, we have your photo. The level of harassment gets increased, if you are not cooperating with them, right? So it goes up to where, people are just one move away from, taking that bad step, right? So they do reach out, right? And then I tell them, okay, these are the 4 steps you have to do.
Okay.
Right? This is just a phase. It will, for those 2,000 rupees, 4,000 rupees, they are not come after you for months and months, right? Probably they will retry for 3 to 4 to 5 days, right? So switch off your phone,
online,
don't respond,
right?
right? So stop responding, stop arguing with them that I don't have, and please don't do this, and please ye family ko photo mat bhejna, etc., right? So don't interact with them, just simply block them, right? Or just switch off your phone. At max, what will happen, they might send a badly edited photo to your relatives, right? Now everyone knows such kind of scams are going on, so they will understand it, right? And for like 5 to 7 days, just disconnect yourself from the internet or your device, right? And immediately delete that shady app from your device, right? Because they might have already stolen your top 100 or 200 some top photos where they are using it against you by editing it. So you have to immediately uninstall that app and stop responding to them. That is the best advice, at that point of time, if the scam has already happened to you.
Yeah. So on the final step, now that, say for example, I've sent my money, right? Whether it's like I've sent to the scammer, or say in the loan app case, I've paid them, right? What next? What do I do? I've realized it's a scam. What do I do?
So first of all, whenever you realize that the scam has happened, you have transferred the money. So now your time starts that you don't have to, without losing any time, you have to immediately report it to the cybercrime.gov.in portal and provide as much context as you have, or how it happened, which account you have transferred money to, right? Explain everything. Meanwhile, also keep screenshots of your payment screens or the WhatsApp conversation or whatever it is. Give them full context. Now, with that cybercrime report, go to the nearest police station to lodge an FIR, right? Now, once that FIR is written, so now they will assign a investigative officer to you, right? Now, you could be here in Bangalore, right? And the money you have transferred to with that IFSC code, etc., just you have to know that where this branch actually is, where my money, in which city branch, where is that scammer's branch, right? So if that could be anywhere in India, and those are anyway these rented bank accounts, right? These mule bank accounts, these are, right? So they could be anywhere. So just try to either transfer your case to that particular city where the scammer's branch is, right? Because that branch will listen more to that local law enforcement, right? So, and use all your resources, whatever, from wherever you can, push your case to be investigated as soon as possible. Because once the IO is assigned, so they have to freeze those accounts, right? If there is any money left in that, so at least that will not leave that scammer's bank account, right? So, and then get a court order, right? That this money was transferred from this person's to this scammer, and the final report is written. Get that court order, go to that bank, and now then you have to transfer that money back to your account. But if you lose time, if you are still deciding that I have transferred money, let's say 15 days back, and you are still losing time not registering that complaint, not registering FIR, so by the time that money will leave that account, right?
Got it. The more time you waste,
the more time you waste. So the key is don't waste time.
But have you seen success rates in this kind of solution? Does this work, or is this like a maybe?
It work. People find difficulty to register that complaint,
Acha.
right? Maybe probably sometimes the site doesn't work, or probably it asks too much information. So then, or people don't find
People are lazy to file the case.
lazy to file the case, but once you file it, I also see that people who are proactive, they are able to freeze that bank account in time. Now there could be that particular scammer have also scammed many other people.
Correct.
Right? So all of them are also trying to freeze that account. Now the leftover money, right? So it will be probably, so the court order could be like, okay, everyone will get their own share because there are more people claiming to this money, right? So you have to don't waste time and just push your case to that the investigation happens as fast as possible. Get that court order, go to the bank, release your money.
On the time aspects of the law enforcement that we've spoken to, typically say that the first hour is called the golden hour in terms of your ability to report.
Okay.
What we've noticed is many times when people get scammed, they don't know what happened, or they know that something bad has happened. And in trying to take corrective measures, they end up deleting evidence, phone numbers, or transaction IDs, all that, messages that came to them. You're free to delete it, but at least take screenshots, note down the numbers, keep it, because that is crucial evidence that will help law enforcement investigate this case further. So you can, of course, call 1930. You'll get connected to your state helpline cybercrime department, who can then take the complaint over the phone. You can, as he mentioned, go to cybercrime.gov.in and lodge a complaint. At least that will give you a complaint number.
Correct.
So many times when you're finding it difficult to go to the local authorities who may or may not file a complaint, at least then this becomes a docket number in terms of further investigation. With seniors, we've seen that many times it's hard to come to terms with the guilt, or to accept that they got scammed. So they're unable to share that with anybody.
They keep it to themselves.
And we've seen cases in many cities where seniors consistently kept getting scammed. They lost a lot of money, and then they lose their life also in terms of shock. So it's important, once you also get scammed, you may or may not get your money back, but it's important to talk to your loved ones to ensure that you are okay. You can't keep bottling this up internally.
Right, the mental aspect of it is also very toxic.
So my colleague's father, for example, and I was having a conversation with her, and she was saying it's not that the money matters to him as much. The money is gone, it's gone. The damage it's done to his self-esteem is a lot more. His confidence is a lot more. Now, is he going to trust digital forms of payment? Probably not.
Yeah. Very interesting. So, okay, I mean, throughout these complicated problems that you've been trying to solve, I'm sure you've had some sort of interaction with these scammers as well. Like both of you have given your versions of it. Have there been any funny instances? Because, for example, YouTube has a lot of that, right? Like YouTube has a lot of funny instances of scam calls. People keep talking about it online. Have you guys experienced any of that?
Yeah. So while I, don't want to interact with, whenever people try to reach out to me, I just, don't respond at all, because I might end up, falling in their trap maybe, right?
Oh, you still think you would fall in their trap? Like, do you fear that?
I mean, somehow, with technology, everything is possible, right? So, they might get access to my personal email, my phone numbers,
etc.
That's a
very interesting thing that you said, because if you are also self-aware that you might end up falling, then people like me and like the layman who doesn't understand scams so deeply can very easily could be falling for it.
They could lay out a trap for me, right? Okay, that let's launch an app. This guy will come investigating us, and let's trap him here, right? And so one such incident, I was also flagging apps which are fake loan apps in United States, right? There some 300, 400 plus such apps we have identified, and they are now off the App Store.
Okay.
I'm only talking about App Store, not Google Play.
Okay.
In the last almost 12 months.
Wow.
So now these are being operated by people in Eastern Europe or probably Russia, right? They are the app operator. Now that is just a face of it, and they reconnect you as a customer to the steady loan operators, not the registered ones, right? So we have been highlighting these apps. These apps were taken down. Now the scammers are feeling the heat. Now one such scammer, tried to. They had their app. We have flagged. He said, okay, we are genuine. He was trying to convince that we are genuine. You have mistakenly considered as a potentially fraud app. Now, he reached out and I thought, okay, let's talk, right? Probably Google Meet is, safe enough, right? So at least no hacking stuff, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk. So he was trying to convince that, okay, we are a legitimate player and we have partnerships in US, etc. But something dots were not connecting. But then he also mentioned that that people are people in US, those shady loan operators, right? They are completely pissed with you because of you their apps are not they have been taken down, right? Earlier, and those 300 400 apps I'm naming, most of them were active since 2021, 22, 23, right? So I think it was just waiting for either me to talk about it or highlight. Otherwise, why those get removed, right? Some violation they were doing for years, right? And the scammers were enjoying, right?
Correct.
That there was no one is trying to question them. Everything is going smooth, right? So now that guy said you should be careful, etc. So in a way he was trying to
warn you about.
Warn, yeah. Another thing that that call I taken, right? Some Indian who was in Russia calling from an Syrian number,
Correct.
and he was flashing that that he's earning good
7
enough,
lakhs a month,
right? And he has been doing it for years. So, yeah.
Very interesting. What about you, Rajni?
I mean, I try to bait scammers a little bit. It's only because you're trying to record the whole thing so you can make people more aware.
Oh, okay.
And
do you do it for your pleasure?
I mean, no, but the moment I get a scam call, I drop everything else because I'm like, oh, let's record this first. I need to capture it because I want to know what the MO is. This could be new, right? So that, of course, is there. I mean, I think first and foremost, very often they are speaking to you in Hindi, but you're constantly in the back of your mind thinking, this is not an Indian accent.
Right.
So where are they from?
Okay.
Right. And if you're able to subtly push those buttons, you can get them to admit where they're from, what they're doing, and why they're doing it.
I thought it's usually Indians who are calling. It's not?
I mean, sometimes it could also be from neighboring countries.
Oh, okay.
Understand the same who speak the same languages that we do. Even sometimes why Indians also call us, they themselves may be victims of trafficking in scam compounds. They have no choice but to scam you, right? So I think a couple of calls, I remember one of course was this guy spoke to me for a good half an hour and said, you also know I'm scamming you, right? Because this is too easy. There's no resistance whatsoever. So you definitely know. And then he says, okay, is there anybody you want to be scammed? We can split the money with you. And I was like, why would I give you somebody's phone number? He's like, no, who's the person you hate the most or, you don't get along with? We can scam that kind of person. I think so that, of course, was one of those, funny instances where they're trying to convince you that you should join them. And, the other is, I've usually ended up in conversations. I'm not a native Hindi speaker. So I find it difficult when somebody, you reach a level in the conversation where the scammer begins to think that he's got you, but you're now resisting because even you know not to fall for it. So it's an impasse. So what is the way out of an impasse is that he is going to curse the hell out of you in the worst kind of words that you can think about. You can either cut the call or engage in a shouting match.
Right.
The first few times he kept cursing and I'd be like, what are you talking about? This is nonsense. And if you cut the call, he would keep calling back so that he can curse you even more. Wow. It's like this ego got hit that you wasted their time, whom they could have spent on somebody else. Right. So it's just funny to see that sometimes they also feel like, oh, my KPI for the day is met. This guy's going to get scammed. And then the frustration comes out. It's hilarious.
Oh, wow. That's very interesting.
Yeah, another such incident also happened I think 6 to 7 months back. So I was also highlighting apps which are being operated in Indonesia, right? And that was like published yesterday, caught the same day, removed the next day.
Oh, wow,
right?
okay.
So at least the team which was taking care of those apps is proactive enough. So and that was happening for last 3 to 4 months. Now scammers were thinking it used to work earlier for longer period of time. What has happened? So they probably come across the complaints are coming from this particular website, right? And from where it is the action is happening from this particular website.
Correct.
Right? So the GitHub page, a normal dashboard which I have published back then. So one such person tried to reach out to me from a new Twitter account.
Okay.
The name was Indian. He was trying to convince me to not flag their app.
Okay.
I said, which kind of app? Because I was doing for multiple countries, right? He said, like this one. So it was the app of Indonesia. So I know that why he was complaining. For other countries, it takes few days time, sometimes few weeks also, 2-3 weeks. But then he said, okay, we can pay you something. Can you share your WhatsApp number? I'll connect you with my boss. I said, whatever you are saying, say it here, right? Because I have started the conversation. I wanted to see how much they are making and how much they are
willing to
much they are willing to pay to shut me down, right? So it was triple digit dollars. He was ready that per app, if you don't flag it, will give you this much. Now let me connect you to my boss or something. He wanted to get my WhatsApp number. So
these scammers really try to do some side deals, huh?
So I mean, they know that it was going smoothly, right? Now the resistance is coming
because of this person,
because of like probably this guy, right? So
makes
if
sense.
it works, so now that thing, now they have left that particular modus operandi. I mean, now I see just like 5%. If it was 100% earlier, now that is 5%. Now they are trying to publish those similar applications by disguising something else.
Correct.
Like some other tool. But actually, once you download it, it is a fake loan app.
Right.
But they are being caught anyway, right?
Very cool. Yeah. So, I mean, I think I've had a very good conversation with both of you. The amount I've gotten to know about scams and fraud, I didn't know anything about it, and it's mind blowing how much it's impacting all of us, right? Any last message that you would want to give? Like, think of them like general viewers, right? They may have been scammed, they may not have been scammed, they might be the next victim of scam. Any last message?
Yeah. In this conversation, we've focused on what can go wrong when you're using digital mediums like your cell phone and all that. But don't let the fear drive your actions. You may not be able to use it at all.
Yeah.
All you need to do is adopt certain safe practices, and that can really help you stay away from a lot of these.
Yeah.
Don't worry constantly that, I'm going to get scammed, so I'm not going to use this, and I'm not going to use that. You're not going to then use anything, right? I mean, it's like saying there is a knife, but if you know how to use the knife well, you can get a lot of good out of it.
Correct.
And most digital platforms, digital devices are exactly like that.
That's a very nice message. Babu, anything?
So from my side, it would be that, doubt everything and now try to prove that it is a good stuff. It is a good app or good website, right? So you will take some time. So don't be in a hurry to click those buttons and order anything or something like that, right? So whatever the ad is saying, don't do it immediately in a rush, right?
Right.
Just assume that you have seen this ad probably next day.
Yeah.
So you are not losing anything. Nothing is exclusive, right?
Yeah.
And another thing, we have been talking about, the consumers as a victim.
Right.
Now there are industry players, the big brands are also a victim, right? Because they have been building their brands for, let's say, 5-10 years now.
Right.
They have been spending huge money after it. Now, once the time comes, who is taking who is utilizing that brand name? Because that is on everyone's top of the mind. Now that is the best thing. If, let's say, investment brand, right? So if we know that the brands like Grow, Zerodha are on everyone's top of the mind. Okay, investment karna hai. Okay, any of these two, or there are few more. Download anyone, they are good enough, right? Now scammers think that these are default apps, right? And these are so they will try to publish an app using these brand names, right? Which people don't doubt. So that's where, the key that, and the brand also, are being victimized. Many times they are not aware that something was going on for a few weeks now.
Yeah.
We are getting to know today.
Yeah.
And had we been proactive, the
Before
consumers
itself.
might not have, downloaded, and people are losing, in crores.
Right. So again.
So that proactiveness has to be from consumers, from brands, and from everyone. Trying to solve it, a lot of parties have to, come together.
That's a good
If I
insight.
just keep identifying and I don't have that remove button with me, or I don't know someone who can, do the delete button of, for these apps.
Yeah.
My work is not useful.
Correct.
I need to work with, some other parties which are, can take that action. It could be government, it could be the App Store, Play Store itself. It could be, even if, that thing is not happening, how I can, reach out my information to the wider audience. So probably I have to talk about it, right? I have to plug my information into various systems so that, okay, be aware of this app, don't download this particular app. Yeah, these kind of 10 apps, these 100 apps, don't download, right? So that, something I have to do with it, right? And I have to, collaborate with other people. Correct. So that collaboration has to come. I mean, I can't solve it. I can detect it, but I can't solve it fully, correct, right?
I think that's a good message to put out there, right? Like, it's not just the consumers who should be worried about it. It should also be the brands in whose name scams are happening.
And their industries, at the end of the day, their industry is getting affected. So suppose I was not doing any investment trading right now. Once in the post-COVID scenario, everyone is trying to, make money out of the stock market. Right. I'm a first-time customer to this investment industry.
Yeah.
Now I'm having a bad experience. I probably will not come again to this industry. The industry is losing me. So I thought, after retirement in my 60s, when I'll be free during the market time, at that point of time, I will have time and I will do investments. And the first experience I had, probably half of my money or all of my money is gone. Now I will not even invest my family members, my relatives, that sub fake hai, right? So I will generalize that fact. So that industry is losing customers.
Correct.
Now because of that bad incident, probably the industry did not take seriously in the early stages. There will be a time where, probably everyone is online, everyone has opened the Demat accounts, or probably taken loan from any of this. But once people have bad experience, they are not going to trust even the genuine industry also. So the proactiveness should also come from the industry where scammers are targeting, the industry as a whole.
Correct. That's very interesting.
They should talk about it more. They should be proactive that my brand is protected for somewhere else, right? And the one which are not serious, they should get serious, because scammers are coming after each and every one of them. As they are targeting each and every person, like every age group, they have a plan for every age group of consumers. They have a plan for each and every brand.
Very interesting. So I think that's a lot of insight for the people watching to take back. Thank you so much, Rajneil. Thank you so much, Babu, for sharing all of these insights. You guys are doing some incredible work, and through this platform, through this podcast, and through the other, we've done a lot of scam videos. You can check it out on the channel itself. That was also thanks to you guys itself, right? You guys are also putting your head into that. So thank you so much for educating people about it. Hopefully this video is also helping them. Guys, please make sure that you push this video to other people, your parents, your relatives, anyone, that you think is vulnerable, because everyone at this point is vulnerable to this. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you guys so much.
Thank you.